Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm gonna run y'all through an online conquest I did recently. It was varied enough in that, short enough versatility to where I really feel like I can give y'all a grasp, finally, after years of playing this game, of the way that I see an online conquest and that, and also practice talking to you guys because I need to be doing that more in order to grow the channel a little bit. So I do want to go ahead and just give you guys, I'm going to show the build first in this video. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I do want to show you the parts in that and the summary of the build that I use. It's my personal preference for the online conquest mode is that once I kill a captain, it triggers full focus recovery, full health recovery, full L shot recovery. If you are new to the game, the L shot is the ammunition you use for the bow. And it also gives me unlimited might for 10 seconds while triggering the chest piece, giving me a 55% damage reduction bonus. So the general idea for when I take this into online conquest isn't just executions, it's the fact that once I kill one of your captains, I should be able to just continue that and keep stacking them. Which can lead, you'll see my reactions in that, it can lead to some bumps in the road, some adaptations that gotta be made, but it's what the game is, so that's what you gotta be doing. But all right, we'll go ahead and jump into the conquest. I'm going to be watching it with you guys, and kind of the mold of this video is going to be kind of a reaction video as well. So I actually really liked the username for this guy. I believe it. Yeah, toxic Queenie. So the captains that I use in the assaults, I had not played in a bit. So my thought process on this one was immediately to go for the big guns, but unfortunately I had recently cleared out all of my garrisons and that, and ended up taking out a lot of dudes, because I was going to do a full reset. Like, the only region that I have full captains looking the way that you've seen it for assaults is Nurnin currently. So picking these guys is a little bit... If I could do it again, I would pick a lot of different guys, but Bold the Blight is mandatory in all of my sieges, and that's pretty much how I roll in terms of the sieges. I gotta have him, and then I've always liked bringing the Necromancer Olog, solely due to the fact that he can just keep rezzing all the grunts that die and bring them with us. So the Overlord for this one was pretty cool. Definitely easily killable. Like, the second that I see that your Overlord is damaged by executions, I pretty much know I'm gonna be able to gold your fort. You need to not have damage by executions for an Overlord weakness, solely due to the fact that the second I walk in there, I will be walking in with full wrath, full might, and I will kill you in seconds. There's no reason to fight your bodyguards when I can just kill your Overlord. In terms of the other guys, there were a lot of guys in here from the DLC, which is a little bit disappointing, but also always satisfying to kill Crimp the Enchanted and Crimp the fucking simp, bro. And there were also a lot of guys that had voice lines I hadn't heard before as well. I do want to give a quick shout out to Agotech. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description. He's another Shadow of War content creator. He's much more knowledgeable about the game than I am. And ultimately, this video is to not only work on my ability to speak to people, but to kind of help him as well and give him an example as he tries to grow his channel. So go check that man out. Subscribe to his stuff right now. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the Conquest. Legendary opening sequence. I absolutely love the way this game immerses you immediately, just in the thought that, like, we're going to take an army, we're going to go ahead and get this shit done. I always start off taking the siege beasts and turning them into allies. My general strategy for an online conquest, especially as a player who likes to be heavily involved in the fighting, like right in the middle of it, is basically, I want to take all your shit and throw it right back at you. I want to take anything you thought you were going to use against me, and I want to throw that at you. I want to take your siege beasts. I want to take any Graugs you have, if you got them. I want to take your dragons, like literally anything I can use against you. Anything you give me, I'm gonna take that and just make sure it's just all over the place going against you. I normally I like to approach with some kind of brutalized kill or something, solely because it gets me back to full health right off the bat, and it also each hit of a brutalized gives me light. I absolutely love Wraith executions. They're so beautiful. I think one of the worst feelings, not like one of the worst feelings, but just like as a competitor, when you start off like this, you start feeling it because the game it's power fantasy game, and then you go right first captain immune to execution. I was like, oh, it's like this sucks. It was not a good start at all. Like immune to execution, and then I immediately take that hit from that Olar captain. But we end up getting this guy right back. I think one of the things I love most about the game is this too. Like, there's really no other game that captures like the one-on-one of a siege like this, while also giving you the power fantasy of leading an army. Like frankly, there probably never will be. I love that one. I'll have to check my player stats, but I think my player stats for decapitations is like it's unreasonable, is what it is. It's not anywhere where it really needed to be at all. I would have loved to get that guy right here, but I'm pretty sure he died either from a hit from Bolg or from Bolg having poisoned him. You might ask, I've seen a lot of content creators that run online sieges, right? I've seen a lot of them that go through, and when they're doing the siege, they will actually take the time to look at all the weaknesses. You might ask why I don't do that. It's personally because, number one, I feel like if I were to go through and just constantly look at all the weaknesses, that it would, I feel like it would make things too easy for me, personally. I also really, really, as a competitor and as a former athlete, like the idea of having to adapt on the fly. Like, if I go up to a guy and he's immune to execution and my build focuses mostly on the damage provided by executions or might, then that immediately forces me to have to try something else, and I actually really like that idea. Because the way my brain works, I pretty much always want to try different things, adapt, that kind of thing. Mad ADHD. So like the more hectic it gets, the better I feel, and the more I feel I'm in my element. I really don't like how often these captains were going down either. Like, that's normally not a thing. So I was incredibly surprised to see that it was happening as often as it was. Another reason I like the might build, it's just easy. There's so many ways to get might and just have it going for you all the time. Like, you can use the Fury, would you say method? Skill. You can use the Fury skill, like I do with this captain, and build it up on each punch. You can get right back up and use it for Elven Light, and then just rebuild it again. You get might basically for everything, and it's so useful. This guy, he had a lot of venomous guys. Like, he has... Let me see. Yeah, he had at least 3 guys that were all like the poison skin. I don't know what it is. I'm not one of the orc trainers or those kinds of content creators at all. I do not have the... Frankly, I'm not even gonna say I don't have the time, because like I do. I just really don't have the patience for it that those guys do. So shout out to them. Shout out to all those guys who put those videos together and basically get the community more involved, you know, years after. Like, shout out to you guys for helping keep the game alive, for sure. Even though going in and fighting one of your captains, man, I see that it's one of those overlords, and I'm like, oh, like you took me out of my humiliator build. Like, I don't really like this. So I'm pretty sure this is like we're gonna start rattling off some kills here pretty shortly. I had never seen the Warlock guy before, ever. Like in 1,000 hours of playing this game, I'd never heard that voice line. So he was a pretty cool one to get as well. I like using the capture point as a strategy because especially with an execution build, everybody goes down, and then when they get back up, they're basically in a state where I don't want to say paralyzed, but they're passive for like 5 seconds. So as long as you don't get up and go right after a tank, you should be able to just start knocking them down, and that's where I like personally to be in a flow and kind of get into my rhythm. Oh man, I love those executions so much. There we go. There we go.
Come closer, Grave Walker. Breathe deep.
Just come in, just stacking up heads. Just stacking up heads. That's all it is. Just literally stacking up heads. It would have been so much different too if this guy had his captains as like blights, but with like berserker traits. Like honestly, I'm not gonna say I couldn't have golded it or whatever, because I definitely could have, but it would have made it so much harder. Fucking crimp the simp, bro. Fuck this guy. 100%.
The elves are leaving this world for the blessed realm.
It's probably my least favorite character ever in any kind of Shadow of War game, or frankly, any game. Do not like simpy characters at all. Cost him an arm and a leg. Just a solid note of advice too. Anybody who just played the DLC and thinks those orcs are cool, you're right. They are cool looking. They're terrible in sieges. Like if I go into a siege and I see like Tor's Tinder and Crimp the Enchanted and Maku the Fixer, I'm excited. Like someone like me is like, fuck yes, like let's go in and get this done. Like I know especially if your overlord's like Maku the Fixer, like he's easy to kill. And he's not good in a siege at all. I definitely could have equipped. I think a lot of these guys were weak to fire and poison as well. Like I definitely could have equipped Elven Light, and probably could have done this faster if I had chosen an element. I actually thought this was a Zog, and I was literally about to start blowing up the Discord and be like, "Yo, how the hell did this guy get a Zog on PlayStation?" It turned out to not be a Zog. He just got a Zog skin. Another decapitation. Just literally stacking up heads. Add them all in my collection. You'll notice I have full wrath too. Once I'm at this stage of a siege, I really like to just save it for the throne room, because walking into a throne room with full might and full wrath, oh, twist and turn, oof, that hurt. It was rude. It was fucking disrespectful. Walking into a throne room with full might, full wrath, full L shot, full health, trivializes your overlord for me. Even if he's immune to execution at that point, me triggering Elven Rage and having it last 33% longer because of the ring I'm carrying is just going to make my life that much easier. Bolg racks up kills too. I stole him from. I'm not even gonna lie. I took him from somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I went into. I've never been able to make like a blight captain. So I went in and took a couple bulks from a couple online sieges, and just ended up. They're all like 6, 7, 7s with massive damage increases and health increases, and I love taking them with me. So I actually love this part. For anybody who's new or doesn't play stylistically the way I do, any captain who starts retreating at this point is almost an automatic kill. As long as they're not a tank, you can actually just go through and like he's down on the ground, I can stealth kill him because his aggressiveness is not triggered right now. He's trying to run, so just stealth kill his ass. Easy kill, resets everything before I go into a throne room, and now I get to walk into the throne room and I'm just ready to go. The second I get that final kill right there, it's over. Like this was never going to be. This is going to be A+. It's going to be easy. See what he's got to say. Cool name, Trickster Overlord. Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Brave words for someone hiding from battle.
And this is immediately what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to shadow strike your ass across the room. If you're not arrow proof, I'm going to go right to you. I'm going to slam the execution button and the game is going to automatically think I'm not trying to kill your overlord, so it's going to go to the right for some reason. So I had to aim the executions to go back towards him. And then once the might is gone, I'm doing this. I'm triggering Elven Rage. I'm going to hit you. And I was kind of dumb, like I kept swinging from the front. So he kept giving me the Slayer counter, but I mean, as you can see, it's quick work at this point. It's quick work, and I also have the 33% critical damage on the dagger with the skill that increases the critical damage done to frost enemies. So if I could freeze your overlord too, it's a wrap. Like this was always going to be a wrap. Fucking got him. Alright, so that was the Conquest. I did want to see what this guy's voice line was before I left, and he just screamed. It was very cool. I've never seen a brain damaged either, so he was cool to see. But yeah, man, so I hope you guys enjoyed this version of a Conquest. If you did, I might go ahead and do more of them. Like, it's actually kind of enjoyable to sit here and go over my thought process and shit during a Conquest with you guys. And hopefully it provides a bit of an example to anybody who's got a little bit of stage fright. I'm actually going to do a video on my story on how I conquered that in order to do this kind of thing. But I hope wherever you guys are, you're having yourselves a wonderful day, and y'all take care. I will see you guys next time.